hopefully by hearing this message, it's going to be empowering you to, really step into your full authenticity of who you truly are, and stop hiding behind these aspects of yourself that you've been putting to one side just to please a certain group of people. What this is about now is about fully integrating the darkest aspects and the light side too, and presenting that forth so that whoever's here to judge, let them. Give them the ammunition, make it easier for them, but fully own this aspect of yourself to the point where, yes, you might not necessarily like all of it. You could be working on these things, but you don't have to be defending yourself all the time. You can now be in a position of power and actually operate from this space of self-acceptance, self-ownership. And as you do that, you're going to start realizing how much more magnetic you become to other people as well, how they start gravitating towards you because they themselves, at some level, want to have that level of self-acceptance and self-ownership that you have. Yo, welcome back to Mo's Flow, the show where souls grow and hearts glow. And in today's episode, I'm going to be going deep into some mindset stuff and also into some business stuff as well, and bringing these two worlds together by talking a little bit more about how you can truly step up in your leadership, and some of the experiences that have allowed me to understand how I can do this better myself personally, but also it's going to be about helping you within business and getting confident with certain skills with sales and marketing. And these are things that I have tried and tested and proven to work within my own business in the success that I've been able to achieve for myself and other people too. So without further ado, I'm going to dive straight into everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And to begin with, I actually want to start off with a little bit of a confession. And the reason why is that if you're watching this on the YouTube or you're watching this on the school, either one, you'll have noticed that over the last maybe 4 days or so, I haven't actually been consistent. I've not posted everything in terms of the recordings on the school. I've not made videos on YouTube in the last 4 or 5 days, I think since Thursday. And there's no excuse. Aside from the fact that I was at my cousin's wedding on the weekend on the Saturday and the Sunday. So there's an excuse for the Saturday, but the other days I had my sister's family over. So I could have definitely done some stuff, but I didn't. I just chose to spend some time with family. And I was feeling a little bit guilty after this for not actually putting in that work during that time and staying consistent. But also it was a well-deserved rest as well. And during that time, it allowed me to reflect a lot. I mean, I do a lot of reflection anyway with these videos. I do a lot of reflection outside of these videos. And that's really where a lot of these insights come from, is from the amount of time that I spend in the day reflecting on how I can be showing up better, how I can be providing value. I spend a lot of my time in the day reflecting and focusing on how I can improve. So over the last 4 or 5 days, as I haven't been putting out content, it has given me more time to expand on certain ideas and reflect and give you this. And I think one of the main things that I was reflecting on, those two main things, but one of the main ones was this idea around radical self-ownership, and especially within your leadership, how the radical self-ownership is a prerequisite to leading a ship. And I was actually speaking about this in one of the previous videos as well, where we were talking about vision and how when you start to own your own personal dream and vision, then on your ship, like, it's enough space just for one person, but you haven't got enough room for more people aside from you. It's just you that can jump onto the ship, you that can get your results and your success. And that can only take you so far. You know, there's that saying, which is, if you want to go fast, then go alone. But if you want to go far, then you got to go with people. So some people can go really fast and still go pretty far by themselves, but you don't hear about those people doing that for a sustained period of time. They always end up extending themselves, collaborating, working with other people. So long term, it's about being able to make those connections, partnerships, and bring people into your ship and step into that role as a leader. So when you're making this transition, it's absolutely necessary that before you go and start bringing people onto your own ship, that you own a ship of not just the ship itself, but looking at, before taking own a ship of the external ship, it's about, number one, taking ownership of the internal ship and seeing what's going on with your ship to begin with, which is your own body, and it's your own thoughts, feelings, emotions, self-image, like everything. So I'd say in my reflections, what I was seeing for myself as a leader is that where I'd gone wrong a lot of the time was that I was taking a level of ownership, and the level of ownership that I was willing to take was in comparison to the ownership that I was willing to take as someone who didn't have to lead anyone, wasn't an entrepreneur. It was night and day difference, because when you're just working in a job as an employee, or you don't exactly need to take much responsibility and ownership, then you can be very good at just blaming other people and getting away with it. And that's exactly what I was doing for just every part of my life, whether it was the actions that I was taking, whether it was, I remember being a kid, like in primary school, and we'd get into trouble all the time. And my go-to line was just, it was an accident. So the teachers would hear it over and over and over again. And it was like the boy who cried wolf. After the second, third time, they'd be like, yeah, we ain't falling for this no more. So I'd always been like that. And as I got older, and I think this is what happens with a lot of people too, as I got older, I started getting better at blaming others than just by saying it was an accident. I started to craft better stories around it. So much so that these stories would even begin to fool myself into believing that I was the victim, that I was the one who, deserved to be let off, or deserved to not be punished for whatever it was that I'd experienced. I was the one that didn't deserve judgment. And that was because of this victim mindset and mentality that I developed. And, where had that come from? I'd say that a big part of it was the culture that I was brought up in, where that's just how people's mindsets were. My parents' mindsets were like that, very much so. Friends, the whole of the UK, I'd say, is probably the worst country for it that I've ever visited, where people are so good at blaming anything outside of them for their own circumstances in their life. So this was exactly what it was like for me. And because of where I started and how bad that my mindset really was in that area, when I transitioned to entrepreneurship and I realized that, okay, I don't get any rewards at all for being the victim, I'm going to have to change up my mindset. Then by taking more ownership of mistakes that I was making, and mindsets that I had, limiting beliefs, etc. By taking more ownership of that, it allowed me to reclaim my power and start taking control of my reality and start actually making changes that was putting myself in a positive direction. So because of the comparison, it almost felt like I'd done enough. But what I realized the hard way is that what I thought was radical ownership was just really minimum standard ownership. And I feel like this is where most people will reach a stage of as well, where you have like minimum level ownership. So I'm saying this right now to you truly with love, because I get the position that you're in. You actually might be in a position like myself where I didn't want to be minimum level ownership, whereas before, in comparison, that's exactly where I wanted to be. And I was happy with that. I was fine with that because I didn't have much ambition to be this leader or anything like that. I had to take ownership. So with compassion, I can see that some of you right now, you want to be able to have maximum level ownership. You think you're taking the maximum ownership, but really you're not, because you're unconscious of where you still haven't claimed ownership over your life. And this is not necessarily to say like take ownership for things that you don't have control over. This isn't the message that I'm portraying here, because that's only going to make you feel overwhelmed for no reason. This message is about helping you to really claim that power back, right? So if you're thinking about trying to take ownership for how you've made other people feel, for outcomes of which you had no control over, this is not what this message is about. This is about helping you to see where maybe you're not taking ownership and you can be taking more ownership in your life. So as an example for myself, I started to take better ownership in terms of the actual actions that I was personally taking, and realizing that, okay, if I wasn't getting a particular result, then it was because I personally didn't put in the hours and the effort. So that was like an area where I could see that, yeah, it's pretty clear that I should be doing better here. But I'd say that there's like three main areas that you want to be assessing when it comes to the control that you have over your own reality. And your actions and behavior is just one of those areas. And it's actually not the main cause that is the knock-on effect for all three of them. It's kind of like the middle. So your actions and behavior, yes, we know that that can create your results and what you have in your property. Your behavior is your activity. But the first thing that you must change and influence, which is really the main cause of your activity and your property, is your mindset. And that is your identity. So for me, what I'm basically sharing here is that I hadn't truly claimed ownership of all of my identity. And that's where I was blaming other people, or not necessarily taking full responsibility for who I was. And not only that, but it was also like I didn't want to go close to seeing the part of myself that I didn't really like, or I knew that other people weren't necessarily going to respect, that I didn't have pride in. And I just buried that part of me because I wanted to act as if it didn't exist. The part of me that was sometimes lazy, the part of me that was sometimes scared, the part of me that was sometimes incompetent, the part of me that was delusional, like just all the parts of me that were immature and not developed. But it was all aspects of myself that I wanted to act as if weren't necessarily there because I didn't have any pride within that part of myself. I wanted to get rid of it. I almost hated those aspects of me. And I've spoken about this on one of the previous videos as well, about how, real love of self is about not just loving the parts of you that you like, but it's also about loving the parts of yourself that you don't like. So similarly, in this video, what I'm saying is that just in the same way where you want to be loving the parts of yourself that you don't like as well, you want to be claiming ownership of those parts of yourself that are still yours to hold, but they're aspects of you that you might not necessarily want to hold. But by doing so, at least no one else then has power over you, right? And no one can mess with you at that point. So the important aspect of this is it's like when you're now going onto the ship, going back to what we were saying originally in the beginning, you're going onto your ship, the one that you own, and you're leading a ship. It's no longer like people are coming onto a ship and they don't know what would happen if the captain was to go through a tough time or whatever. Like, they know what they're getting themselves in for, and they can accept it beforehand and be like, if things didn't necessarily go as planned, we didn't have smooth sailing, well, he owned that aspect of himself beforehand. And to have that level of transparency as well is something that requires bravery. It requires having, again, a level of self-acceptance, self-confidence, knowing that even if you was to share the worst aspects of who you are, the person on the other end of the side would be like, I'm in no matter what. And in fact, I actually trust you more that you've shared this with me. So this works really well, not just in like leadership of business, but even in relationships. A lot of relationship experts will say that if you're about to go into a relationship which you want to have as a long-term relationship, then rather than presenting the aspect and parts of you that are the glamorous side and all of the pretty things, rather than portraying what looks good on the surface, it's much better and wiser to actually share the worst parts of you that you think the person will most reject. Why is that the case? Because by doing so, if you pull that out straight away from the very beginning, it's almost like you get to then disqualify people who are not really in alignment. You then get to disqualify people who are going to cause you more pain in the future. And it's not just for your own benefit, it's for theirs as well. And not only that, but it can, to the right people, it can send a signal that, wow, this is actually someone who must be great, because all the worst aspects of them, I actually like that stuff. So I'm happy with taking that approach. In business, if we've got, for example, an offer where the offer is customized to attract and magnetize a certain demographic, by focusing on all of the downsides of your own opportunity first and your own offer, it looks as though you just have so much conviction in what you're sharing, because you are sharing the aspects about it that are not even the benefits, it's the costs. But people are still like, yeah, we would want to jump on board with that. Sounds sounds like something that's cool to the right person. So I tell this story about how when I was first coaching one of my prodigies, apprentices in the game of tennis, back when I used to play a lot of sport, he came to me and didn't have much experience whatsoever. He watched a bit of Wimbledon and got excited about it and said, "Can I learn? Or can I come and play with you?" Even didn't even say he wanted to learn, just said, "Can I come and play with you?" And I was like, "Yo, I take this tennis stuff seriously. Like, you can't just come and play with me like that. But if you want, I'm going to be hitting with someone else in the park tomorrow at this time. If you're there, you're there. And maybe I can hit with you for a few minutes." So he comes down, brings his rackets, and I'm hitting with the other person. And he quickly realizes that, whoa, these guys can actually play. And he tries to play a little bit with me, couldn't get a single ball over the net. I did a few serves, like they literally went through his racket. And afterwards he was like, "Wow, how did you do that? That was wild." It was just mind blown. And I said, like, it took me years of training. I've been doing this my entire life. And he said, "Well, I'd love to learn. Like, how can I learn?" And I said, "If you want to learn, then by all means you can. I live like an hour away from here. If you want to come and train with me, then you can. But I'd recommend that you go and get some coaching first. And then after you've worked on your foundations for like 6 to 12 months, I'll come and I'll train you from there." So to most people, if I was to tell them that that was the cost of entry to come and play with me, they'd be like, "Hell no, I'm not going to do that." I did not focus on the benefits. I did not say that you're going to be able to get this good. You're going to be able to serve just as I can. What I actually did is I just claimed ownership of the downsides of what it's like to get to the level that I'm at. And funnily enough, he, about a year later, sent me a text message saying, "I've been practicing. I had some coaching. I'd like to come and play with you and show you how I've improved. Is it okay if I come to your house and we can play?" So the courts were literally like a minute away from my house, about an hour and a half away from him. He got the bus all the way down, a couple of buses, and we played a little bit together. And lo and behold, this time he was actually a little bit better. He'd got some coaching, I could tell. And just because of the level of devotion and commitment that he showed, I was like, yeah, I can train this guy. And that's what I did. I started to train him. And he made that trip like almost every single day for the whole summer. And he went from being an amateur to almost like an expert within a few months. Took me a lifetime, but I gave him that lifetime worth of wisdom and practical steps, and also being a mirror and a sparring partner for him over that time period. I gave him all of that, and he shortcut the journey towards getting just as good as myself in terms of technique and everything within that space of time. So yeah, this is the powerful story that I'm sharing here, is that for the right person, the one who is genuinely in alignment, not the one that's faking alignment, because some people will fake alignment just when they hear benefits. But for the person who is genuinely in alignment, you'll share the downsides with them. You'll share the darkest aspects of who you are. And they'll be like, "I'm here for it." Like, yeah, that's up my street. So, hopefully by hearing this message, it's going to be empowering you to, really step into your full authenticity of who you truly are, and stop hiding behind these aspects of yourself that you've been putting to one side just to please a certain group of people. What this is about now is about fully integrating the darkest aspects and and the light side too, and presenting that forth so that whoever's here to judge, let them. Give them the ammunition, make it easier for them, but fully own this aspect of yourself to the point where, yes, you might not necessarily like all of it. You could be working on these things, but you don't have to be defending yourself all the time. You can now be in a position of power and actually operate from this space of self acceptance, self ownership, and as you do that, you're going to start realizing how much more magnetic you become to other people as well, how they start gravitating towards you because they themselves, at some level, want to have that level of self acceptance and self ownership that you have. Because this is the thing too, is that the more that you become impenetrable to others with their negativity and opinions and just judgment that they'll be sending to you, the more that you become that person that's bulletproof, other people will want that. Other people will be like, yo, not only do they want that, but those people who have been trying to hate on you and give you all that negative energy, at some point they're just gonna be like, oh, why even bother? You know? What's the point? This guy's just too shielded. Like, everything that I've been throwing at him, shooting, it just ain't working. And then once they've given like all of their best shots at you, they're going to be thinking to themselves, like, fuck, they can now shoot back at me. They haven't even thrown a shot yet. I gave them everything that I had that I thought would really knock them over, and it's barely given them a scratch. It's terrifying. You just think about like any movie where this has been illustrated, where there's always like the one guy who tries to give him the best punch or does his best to take them out, and it just doesn't scratch him. Like, they always run away. And one of my favorite examples of this is like the movie 8 Mile, where in 8 Mile, like Eminem, final rap scene, he shares, instead of everything that the rappers usually would do, which would be attack the other person, he attacks himself. And he does so in an empowering way where he claims ownership. All the things that he knows that the other person will want to say about him, about his race, about his financial circumstances, about the fact that he was someone that was like white trash, piece of shit, all this thing. But he claimed ownership of it. Not because that's how he wanted to act as himself, not because it was his preference as to who he was. He didn't like those aspects about him, but he did it so that he was to become someone who had claimed full ownership of all aspects of his identity. So yeah, like if you can make that transition from just what it was like for me of claiming ownership of my behaviors, my actions, and what I was doing and my habits, and you can transition to now claiming ownership of the real cause of it, and owning the shame, owning all of the guilt and the negative emotions that have come from it, as well as the identity that you don't necessarily fully like. Through claiming this ownership, it will be like a weight has been truly lifted off of your shoulders, because you're not constantly trying to mask every part of who you are for other people's appeasement, for other people's validation. You have your own self-validation that has come from integrating all aspects of your being. So yeah, that's one of the main things that I wanted to share today in this episode was just about, just beginning the journey of leadership through claiming radical ownership. And if you think that you're claiming enough ownership, chances are you're not. And how you know that you're definitely not claiming radical ownership is by how much you're affected by other people's opinions, how much you are playing small because of what you fear other people will think of you, how much judgment could be put upon you. And like I said from the very beginning as well, I got so good at outsourcing my responsibility, at shying away from these aspects of myself that I didn't like, that I even was good at fooling myself whilst I was trying to fool everyone else. So sometimes you got to check yourself too. Are you fooling yourself in not claiming ownership of those darker aspects? Because you could be good at it. I was really good at it. You might be one of these people too. So it's good to give yourself an honest look in the mirror, and how you'll know that you're not claiming enough ownership is by the fact that people sometimes can say something about you that will pierce you and it will hurt. Like, you'll somewhat take it to heart. This is something that I used to do like all the time. People would give me an opinion because my self image and the way that I would view myself was just so weak. Then when they give me a negative compliment, or not a negative compliment, but a negative bit of feedback, I would really take it to heart. I'd really take it to heart, which showed me, one, that I cared, of course. So this isn't about not caring. I don't think that anyone who teaches you to not care, you should listen to. I believe that we should care, like 100%. It's one of the things that makes us human, and it makes us great leaders. It makes us more compassionate. It makes us more connected. So I definitely think that we should care, but we should claim ownership so that nothing that somebody can say, even if it doesn't feel like what they're saying is fully true, it might not be. Anything that a person will say that's just one aspect, if it's just the dark side and they're ignoring all the light, that's not the truth. That's just their truth. That's a potential falsehood. So you can have the awareness that what has been given to you as feedback isn't the truth, but it just simply won't affect you if the way that you're viewing yourself is not from a place of falsehood either. You're seeing yourself from a balanced perspective. You're not unconscious of the dark parts of who you are. You're conscious of them more than anyone else. It should almost feel like when you do get a comment from a person that could be negative, disempowering, it should feel like, is that the best you've got? You should see the way that I view myself in both aspects. Like, what you've just shared is nothing. I don't care about that, because I'm actually thinking about this bigger part of who I am that is way worse. So let's talk about that. If you want to talk about anything about who I am, like, if you're going to have a dig at me, like, do it better. It would genuinely be like a hilarious skit if you think about it, like a comedy sketch where, somebody comes and tries to bully you, and then you're just like, oh, you're really not good at this, are you? Is this your first day on the job, like bullying? Damn. You should have gone to like a better school for it. Could your parents not afford to do better than that? Because honestly, like, my grandma can give me a better hit than this. And if you genuinely have like this natural reaction to what I'm saying, like, it's not forced, like you're genuinely confused that this is the best that they've gotten, they're like trying, you almost want to help them. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, get it to that place where you feel so empowered, so in your own identity, your truest expression of who you are, that you become that bulletproof that not a single person's opinion has any effect on you whatsoever. Emotionally, you don't take anything to heart because you've already fully integrated all of it. And if you haven't, then the best thing that you can do is like really write out a list of both aspects of your being. You know, the parts of you that you feel ashamed about, parts of yourself that you feel guilty for, the parts of you that don't even feel fully resonant with who you're trying to be whatsoever, but sometimes people might call you those things. I mean, I've been called everything. From a business perspective, people have called me, from the very beginning of my journey, people have called me a scammer. People have called me someone who was going to be a failure. People called me someone who didn't know what they were doing, looked stupid. Like, people said that I was homeless. People said that I was messy. People said that I should quit, kill myself. Like, I've had everything, literally. And I know that to get it from random people on the internet doesn't really affect you as much when you're in this game, because you don't know who they are. You don't care about how they view you. But when you've had it from people who are the closest people to you, that's when it becomes the most difficult. And I've had it from some people who are the closest people in my life: parents, siblings, cousins, friends, clients, partners, like everyone. So everything you can think of that you could say about me, I've already heard it. Most likely. If I haven't, I'd be surprised. But if you're going to give me something that I haven't heard, I'll take it. And I'm going to own that as mine. Right? Owning that aspect, but then also writing down the other side of it too. That there are great parts of who I am. And I've had lots of great positive feedback. The ratio is usually for every 4 or 5 people that give me something that is highlighting like a negative, there's going to be one person who starts highlighting a positive. And for me, it's that law of averages, which is 90% of people, 80% of people tend to be more negative than they are positive. So I'd much rather go through the numbers, just like I do within sales, and find that one person who's going to be positive about me, highly positive. It's just part of the process. It's part of the game. So yeah, if you're seeing for yourself right now that you've got a bunch of people around you, whether it's friends, family, colleagues, people that are either bullying you, throwing hate, throwing shade, then just know that it's all going to average out, and you're eventually going to have just as many people, if not more, who are going to be giving you the complete opposite experience. So yeah, that's like the self aspect there. And like I was saying, with the ownership, it eventually leads to leadership. Why it's so important that you take ownership first before you leadership, like I said, is that you're going to be starting off the relationship on the right foot, being totally transparent. Person isn't going to get surprised by who they see. They're not going to get blindsided. And also, you can accept this from the very beginning, so that you can have workarounds, you can have contingencies. But trust is a very delicate thing in relationships and business. Once it's gone, it's very hard to get it back. So to have it from the very beginning, you could have trust from a person by not showing all the dark aspects of who you are. Oh, we had James in here for a second. James, can you hear us? He's hopping in and out like a rabbit. Are you there, brother? Can you hear us? Your mic's on mute. Got a message, my connection. Oh, is that what it is? Are you in space or something? Don't know what's happening. Well, I think I've experienced this many times with yourself before. It's tech issues, older generation, isn't it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Saying that though, I've seen some of the stuff you've been doing recently with your app. That looks very new school. So congrats on that. Much obliged. Yeah. Yeah. I can't jump in. Are you on your phone or is it on your laptop? On your phone. On your phone. Yeah. Maybe you'll be able to. Oh, you're out at the minute. Got you. Well, yeah, it'd be good to catch up at some point as well, man. Even if you're not able to fully tune in with this one. But yeah, might be a tough one here. Not sure if you've seen. We'll definitely schedule a call. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. I've been thinking about giving you a call for quite a while too, and it's good that you've jumped on. That's reminded me. But yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I'm not actually sure that you've seen too much of some of the people that you were helping out in earlier on this year with us, Yasmin and Will. But like, I spend a lot of time with Yasmin almost every night. She's on here. I'm surprised that she's not here today, but she's really, really transformed. And I'd say a lot of that is because of the work that you and her did in the very beginning. So I'm very grateful for everything that you've done for us, man. It's been epic. Yeah. Like if you had a conversation with her now, you'd be like, whoa, who is this person? Unrecognizable. It's amazing, man. And that's why I love doing what we do. Yeah, see her posting. Yeah. I mean, liberated. That's the word. And I was even thinking about, like, just, more about how to describe the difference in terms of what we offer and what we do. And the two things that came up for me were, number one word was that we liberate people. Like, we truly help them to unchain and have a different level of personal freedom, which isn't just about, financial freedom, location, and time. It's more about, like, that internal freedom. So yeah, that's the big glow up that she's experienced. The second thing is leadership, liberated leadership. And yeah, she's really stepping into that role as a leader as well. So this is why I love doing what we do. In guiding people, because long term, especially when people stick it out, you just see how the initial bit of impact that you made on them had a life-changing impact. So yeah, and more people these days are getting into our type of work. I'm seeing that it's becoming very popular, which also comes with its own caveats as well, and its own downsides. I think that in an age where the coaching world is becoming popular, it's almost as if you have more status on your Instagram profile if it says coach on it nowadays. Oh, speak of the, I don't want to say the devil, but speak of the angel, and she
Excuse
arrives.
me. Were you speaking about me?
Yeah, look at the comments. She's
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam, walaikum salam. James isn't able to speak today for whatever reason, but he's able to listen.
Okay.
But we were just talking about your growth, your transformation. He's been watching your videos and said that you look liberated.
It's like I was thinking about James today because I did one video, but I haven't posted it yet. And it was one of the things he asked in one of his first sessions that we had. I think I remember he saying, like, we did that exercise on who are you, and that exercise was like I didn't even think who am I until I did that exercise. So I did do a little post on it, but I haven't put it out yet. Gonna do some editing on it. But yeah, I've been thinking about that myself recently, like how much I've changed in the last year. It's yeah. It's not as far as I was hoping to be, but it's a big jump forward. So I'm happy. Alhamdulillah.
Let's put it differently. So it's not that you haven't changed as much as you were hoping to. You've changed more. It's just the external hasn't changed as much as you would have
Yeah.
ideally preferred.
Yes.
But in hindsight, looking back, which one has been more valuable? Would it have been more valuable to have actually been given what you wanted, or was it more valuable to?
Oh no, yeah, definitely. This is more valuable because like when it was like the done for you system, it wasn't that I don't appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, because that did make my life a lot easier. But this growth is so much more valuable than just having everything done for you. I mean, like, yeah, I appreciate it a lot more now. I appreciate the work that goes into it a lot more now. So when I do get the rewards of it and I see the results of it, it's gonna be a lot sweeter. Yeah, definitely.
So there's like the feeling of you've earned it, number one. Because I guess, like, sometimes if you get paid and you didn't do anything to get paid, and you don't even know how you're getting paid, like, it's what people would think is a dream, but
Yeah.
as soon as it's taken away, then there's this dependence that makes you feel as though you're completely stuck. Whereas
Yeah.
if it's more so like it's a side aspect. It's not the full thing. You are the main valuable piece. Then that's when it can really be a game changer. So Yeah, and also I'd say that a big aspect of it too is that if you have something that's being done for you, how valuable are you now to others? How much can you serve others? You don't have the potential to
Yeah.
even offer something like that to
Mm,
others in any
mm,
realm. Whereas, like now, if you wanted to, I mean, you could create any offer. You could have a DIY offer, DWY done for you.
mm,
You can do that in any business model because of the things that you've learned now. So that just has its own value in and of
mm,
itself. But yeah, I was saying to James, the word liberated is it's really funny that he said that word specifically because I was at the weekend reflecting on how we're different and what is it about the essence of who we are and how we show up that people can kind of look at it like, yeah, this tastes like this community. And I'd say the two biggest things for me is the liberation that we offer to people and the leadership. Those
mhm.
are like some of the two biggest things. So how would you describe that feeling of being liberated? Because it's evident that you must feel it since there's others who are seeing it.
Mm, liberating. I don't know. I feel I care less. Is it like maybe a thing? I care less of what someone else may think. I'm just not as self-conscious as I used to be, I think. It might be still a little bit some there, but like it's not as bad as it used to be. So, like, when I think of freedom, like if I if I think of freedom, then done for you doesn't mean freedom. So this way I'm actually earning that freedom because I won't be dependent on someone else on someone else's effort basically. So
Yeah,
like that's dependency, it's not freedom.
exactly.
So that's how I feel like now. Like no matter what happens, it's me that's making the effort. So the freedom should be inevitable. Just a matter
It's
of time.
it's you that holds the power.
Yeah, that's
That's
what I feel now. Now more than yeah. After going through like this, I've still got like you know some things that need to improve. I guess I'd like to improve in lots of things, but just the growth that I've had in the last year is I don't even know how to put it into words to be honest. Like I'm at a loss for words.
and
Uh,
that's a great place to be.
yeah.
That's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Because then it's not your words that are actually sending the message, but it's your energy, and
Mm,
it's how you're showing up different. And I think there's number one, like what people will first notice is that whoa, she's showing up. That's the first thing that people notice, and
mm,
it can really mess with people because they would love to show up. Really, they'd love to have that confidence. They would love to not have to worry about what other people think and
mm.
still get all of this leverage, but they don't see themselves as good enough or
Yeah.
people that will gain attention and things like that. So it
Mm,
really rustles people's feathers to begin with.
yeah.
Um,
'Cause I
and
was
and
like that. You remember when you first asked us to go live on and do the first live video? I felt exactly that what you just described now. But now, even though maybe I haven't gained that many followers or whatever, I don't have that many eyes on my page yet. but I don't care anymore. I'm not doing it just for that. You
Mhm.
know, so that's another way that it's liberating, really.
Yeah. A lot of people like they really get confused with the social media game because they place so much weight on the vanity metrics
Mm,
and it can mess with your head big time.
yeah.
Same with me. Like, and I think what it really is it reveals the attachments that you have.
Mm,
So it's like within sales, if you're attached to the money and the outcome, then you've lost the sale because a person's going to sense that and feel as though like you're not actually trying to serve them, you're just trying to get paid.
yeah.
Whereas when you're detached from the outcome, married to the process, then the person feels like, whoa, that was such an incredible experience because they were genuinely served. And I'd say it's the same thing with social media, where when you actually think about the people who are doing the best at social media, who are still winning with the vanity metrics, usually a big reason why is because they're not so bothered about them. Like they're
Mm,
just literally staying consistent, putting out what they've got to put out, and doing it in enjoying what they're doing. Because if you can't do that, it's never going to be truly sustainable. I was watching something on, I think it was like a YouTube short, where they had the awards like the Oscars, but for streamers.
wow. Oh yeah, yeah. Queso won, didn't he?
No. Well,
No.
I mean, it might have been one award, but the award that I actually saw being won by like the best streamer was by iShowSpeed.
Oh, I only know the ones that my children watch. So I know Queso. I know they wouldn't know him,
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, um,
but he's
yeah,
funny though. He's funny.
I mean, he's just being himself, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah, yeah. This is
he
the thing. Like, it's like you laugh at it, like, but like just that authenticity makes it so much more real. Like, I'd rather watch him than some fake person pretending to be someone else. Like,
yeah, yeah. And um, the reason for why they've got to a point where they are so authentic, it's not because they just like were born like that. None of them are born like that. When you actually look at, James is saying, this is how real connections are forged through authenticity. Exactly. That's what I was talking about a little bit at the beginning of the call before you jumped in as well, is that sustainable connections have to be authentic because otherwise you're just going to find out like a month in that what you got isn't what you expected.
mm,
So those guys who are on the streaming platforms and are now showing up like super authentic, it's not because it was like I'm born with this, so I'm going to jump onto streaming. They became like that because they streamed every single day for
yeah.
years. I don't know if you know when like iShowSpeed started, but currently I think his age is like 19 or something.
Mm. Yeah, they're all very young, aren't they?
But when he actually started was in 2019.
Wow.
So
Well, how
he
old
he
was he then? Like,
so he's born in 2005, which means that he's 20,
mm,
but he's been doing the streaming almost for 7 years now.
wow. He started really young, like 13.
Yeah. So imagine doing that daily for 7 years. Like you're gonna
Mm,
get
good at it.
at
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
stage.
absolutely.
You know, it wasn't like they just came out the womb like that.
Mhm.
So this is why I'd say the streamers are putting out like such a better experience for people these days as well. It's because they're just getting in way more reps on camera than a person that is making a 1 minute video for Instagram or a
Yeah.
carousel for Instagram. Can you remember the days back when you used to make like carousels and
Back when if I scroll back, really back, say early this year, it looks completely different to what But I did try. I remember doing the sort of talking videos, and it just didn't sound right. But now it's coming sort of more naturally, so it sounds better. It looks better.
yeah.
Yeah. It definitely that just having the experience of doing it definitely helps. It
And
makes me want to do more long form, like you say, long form content. That's the way you can be more authentic. I think in those short clips, you're still trying to make both sides work. Like it wants to be entertaining and grab attention and be authentic at the same time. So if you do long form, it's just you can just be relaxed and just be normal.
yeah, absolutely. Like you can just chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it. You can just chill out a lot more and not have to force things, and everything can come from a lot more of this powerful place instead, because you're being you, you're being real. Um, and what I was about to say as well is like if you look at how much effort and time it would take to make those Canva carousels and the ideas that you had to get from like
Yeah.
ChatGPT and then put it across.
Yeah.
So it's actually like, and I was reflecting on this earlier for myself just before I was on this call, was I feel like I was given a limiting belief by my experience with my father when I was younger, when I used to play sports and stuff. And it was around this logical idea that if you make the training harder in sports, then when you get into the game scenario, things will be easier. So it's better to have things hard. Like that's genuinely like a belief that I've carried for a long time, which is why I think a part of myself, whenever I'm doing something that's hard, will just continue with it because I'm so sold on the benefits that will come from it being
Yeah.
hard and not getting results.
Yeah.
But the truth is that success will will reward the one who will gravitate towards the most downstream way of doing something,
Mm. Mm.
path of least resistance.
Finally,
And the
yeah.
path
Yeah.
of least resistance, really, when it comes to content, like you've gone from most resistance, which was ChatGPT, Canva, carousels, copy and paste across, keep the same stuff all the time, to now like pull up a camera, do a quick video, share whatever it is that you're thinking
Yeah.
or feeling, and put it out there. So the question now is like, okay, what's that next level where you've got even less resistance, even more ease, and even quicker results that are coming in because you've gone even more downstream, which is it's always scarier to go more downstream because it's
Yeah.
quicker, it's more
Yeah.
dangerous, but at the same time, it's faster.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel like more downstream looks like right now?
Definitely the longer form content, I'm thinking, is something that's gonna happen soon, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not so scared to do the ads anymore. like what I was used, like, a few weeks ago when we were speaking about it. I was talking to my husband earlier about the same thing. Like, I didn't know what was holding me back from just making an ad. Or like we said, we spoke about making an ad a day. And for some reason, I had it in my head that it needs to be perfect. Like every day, I gotta, have the same scene and blah blah blah, and just whatever, say it perfect and do it perfect, and that held me back from doing it because I'm waiting for like I told you, with the space in the house and like the timing with the children, and then I was like, but I'm making all my videos in the car. Why don't I just make an ad in the car? What's the difference? Like, what's what's so wrong with that? Like, maybe it'll be a bit odd, but that might be a good thing, you know? So I think that's something gonna happen like very soon. Yeah, that's the way I think to go forward faster.
Mm. James is saying in the comments, what you've described there sounds like the imposter syndrome.
Mm,
And it can cripple you where you make up scenarios in your own head.
yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
So what kind of scenarios do you feel like maybe you've been seeing in your head that's been crippling to you?
Mm, I think maybe like with the ads now. So like I know I want to move this business forward quickly. Like any business, nobody wants it to like drag on for like years and years and you don't see any results. But like for some reason, I feel like even if I did the whole ad thing and jumped on calls and stuff, like I feel sometimes like it won't have the effect I want it to have, and then I'm gonna feel less motivated to keep going. So like at the moment, I'm like excited when I have to do like a video or create something like a lead magnet or something, like I want to go and do it. But when I have like I don't see the results I want to see, I might be less motivated to keep going. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe that's one of the things that's I'm finding like is resistant.
Mm. Which sounds like attachment, because what you described with making content, like you're not doing it, as you said, to get followers. You're not
Mm.
doing it to impress people. Like you're doing it because you actually enjoy the process now.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're thinking about ads and you're thinking about like the next level of going downstream, maybe with the live videos or whatever, you're focused on the outcome of, is this going to get me results? If it doesn't, I'm going to stop.
Oh yeah. I don't know how I would feel, how it would make me feel if I don't get the results. That's maybe more like it. Like I'm scared of what I would feel. Would it, you know, motivate me to keep going? I am that kind of person also. Like, I don't like just give up easily, or will it just be like me doing what I've done for so many years when it came to like business, and I just say, ah, maybe this is not for me, and maybe I should try something else. But I don't think it would happen with Energic because I know in my heart of hearts this is the one business that's meets all my, it ticks all the boxes for me. So I don't think I would give up on it completely, but I think it would slow me down a lot, and I don't want that to happen.
James has just said, I feel like that sometimes too. But what's kept me pushing forwards is to get clear on my why
Mm,
and operating from the realm of purpose.
yeah.
Very James of him to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very James thing to say. I just wish I could speak like you guys sometimes, you know? I don't know if it's my accent or what. Like, it's like the English. It's not even like English is not my first language, but it's just the type of English is very different. South African English is more harsh. I don't know. It's it's not so like eloquent. Let's put it that way.
But I feel like compared to what you used to be like you've definitely become a lot more eloquent. So you got to give yourself some credit there.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm
Yeah.
no James yet, though.
Yeah, it's like who you're comparing yourself to. It's not fair at all because of how long we've been doing what we've been doing.
Yeah, yeah. I got to give myself some credit there. I'm trying.
Definitely, and you got to keep on making sure that you keep that pride, but also make sure you're not comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself to you, and if you do want to get better with your eloquence, there are practical things that you can do to sort of speed things up.
Yeah.
And I'd say like one of the best things that you can do is long form content. That's definitely going to help. And that was one of the things that really helped me. But the other thing is not just making long form content, it's also in watching yourself after you've made the long form content. And I'd say someone who grew like rapidly through doing this was Anthony. And so did Luke, to be honest. But I remember like doing this with Anthony, and just he went from someone who had never spoke on video before to within like a week of just going live in a Facebook group, recording a long form video every day, 30 minutes. No one was watching apart from me and his sister, or him and his mum, me and his mum. And he would just talk about anything that was on his mind and then watch it every day. That was his discipline. And by the end of the week, you just saw how confident he became compared because of just a few subtle differences that started to, be implemented. So this is what will happen for yourself, is that you'll just start to become more aware of the language that you're using when you can see yourself speaking from the third person, not just from the first person's perspective.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's something that can definitely practically help you. Have you ever listened to yourself speak before?
When I make the videos, I do watch it before I post it, to be honest. Like maybe I need to like cut out some ums and ahs in between, and then so yeah, I do watch it. Sometimes I think, oh, you said that nicely. That was quite good. And then sometimes, oh, I could have used some better words there, you know. So it's both ways, like positives and negative.
Good. And as long as like every single video that you do, you find one thing that you can change and one thing that you liked, that's enough. And when you're finding that one thing, you want to find the one thing that you believe will make the biggest difference. And it was funny because like, as I said in my post, I was at my cousin's wedding at the weekend, and one of the conversations that I remember was actually outside of the wedding, and it was like my cousin's dad and his uncle, so they're brothers, and they were having this debate where one of them was arguing that electric cars should not be taxed, and the other one was saying, well, they should be. And they were just having like this debate for about an hour. And I was just, as someone who is now pretty good with communication, I just could not stop thinking throughout the entire thing that everything that you're saying would be so much more convincing if you just said it and communicated it better. But instead, I'm being distracted by the poor communication. And it's like lowering your credibility with me right now.
Yeah.
And the one thing that he was doing, he would notice it straight away if you listen to himself, which was after every few words, he just kept saying, right.
Mm. Yeah.
And, you know, as soon as you notice something like that in another person too, it just bothers you so much. I don't know if it's just me or you're that type of person as well, where when you hear a person
When you're
like,
when you're hearing someone speak and it's repeating, it's obvious, like you find it annoying, but sometimes you do it yourself, like, but you don't realize it.
yes. So it's about like basically before you start doing the do's, as to what people say, which is before you start doing the fancy stuff, you want to cut out the mistakes.
Yeah.
Like this is across the board in every single area of artistry or expertise, is that usually like 80 to 90% of people that play the game will get 10 times better by cutting out mistakes as opposed to adding things in.
Mm.
So with yourself right now, like you're seeing how you communicate, your words that you're using could be improved just by cutting out. You said the ums; those are
Yeah.
words that you might use quite often as filler words.
Mm.
Is there anything else that you can see that you could maybe cut out with your communication that
I say
would?
a lot in my sentence. I don't know if that's like
Mm,
I
it's an
have
interesting.
said that I have noticed that in some of the videos, like when I watched it again,
Yeah,
I do say you know.
there was a word that I was saying or a phrase that I was saying a lot, because here's what happens is that when you cut out one filler word, tends to be that you end up unconsciously replacing it with another filler word if
Something
you're
else.
not careful. So I used to use a lot. I used to also use like a lot. I used to also
Mm.
use obviously a lot. That was actually one of my biggest ones for a long time. And there was one that I was using recently, which, oh yeah, so it was every time that I would say something, I'd end up finishing it with things like that. And I watched this one video. I said it like 50 times. I was like, what was going on there? Why did I keep saying that
That could
so
have been a
often?
whole video on its own.
Yeah, literally. Like, it's when people play those, the games in the bars where they have to drink every single time you say a particular word. Like, they'd have been drunk after that video by watching me say that again and again. So you've got your filler words, but is there anything else aside from the filler words that you feel
You know
like you
what
could?
I've tried to do conscious? Like normally I speak faster, but when I
Mhm.
do the videos, I try and like slow down like a lot. But maybe I'm a bit too slow also, because if I speak fast, I sort of my my brain's thinking faster than I can speak, so the words start getting jumbled up.
Mm,
So I like consciously when I do a video, I slow down. But then I'm afraid I'm gonna be too slow either. So I need to
yeah.
find like the right balance.
So here's what I would say to that is that there's actually nothing wrong with speaking too slow or speaking too fast in
Mm.
communication. What it's a lot more about is what's your intention behind the message.
Mm.
And if your intention is that you're wanting to excite people, you're wanting to get them energized, you're wanting to get them like out of their chair, then you want to be adding in parts where you're speaking faster. Because every time that you start picking up the pace, then that's gonna like take people out of the parasympathetic into the sympathetic, and their fight or flight's going to kick in, which is going to make them either more impulsive or more instinctual, and that's going to get them to take short-term action. But if you more so want a person to feel safe, to feel like they're contained in what you're saying and they are going to be like present with you, then slowing down within certain parts of your videos is going to be very powerful. So that works with speed and pace, but also with volume. If you speak louder, again, you're going to do that thing that takes somebody out of the parasympathetic to the sympathetic, put them into fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's going to get them excited if you start speaking louder. But when you speak lower and quieter, that actually makes a person feel a lot more calm, a lot more safe. And honestly, it doesn't even matter half the time like what's coming out of your mouth. The effect that it starts having on the person, they feel it. Like I was having a call yesterday with Medea, and I mean, I wasn't really saying anything that was super profound, but it was the deliberate change of tone
How it was being received,
that just made her feel a certain way. And she was just like, I don't know how you do this, but I just feel so calm afterwards. Like I feel. And when people are saying that they feel something after you've spoken, it's because, and especially if they're giving you good feedback in this way, it's because you've used that artistry now when it comes to your communication. And you've done it with intentionality. Whereas most people are just unconsciously saying things slow, saying things fast, making people feel stressed. They don't know why, but a big reason is because of their tone. Now, my perspective on tone for a long time was like, yeah, you want to be able to be thinking about tone in every single thing that you're saying with every sentence. And that's how I used to kind of teach people from before, giving them the brackets and all the scripts, and here's where you do the uptone, here's where you do the downtone. But I've kind of gone against that more recently because personally, I believe that I don't have to teach tone to someone who has conviction, because people will be selling stuff all the time really well. So the weekend, for example, like I didn't plan on staying out on the Saturday, but everyone was trying to sell me on staying longer. And then one of my cousins who really wanted me to stay, he came up to me and he gave me the best sales pitch, which was just all conviction, no logical sense, but I felt it and the tones were perfect. And I was just like, all right, it's a yes. So I stayed out longer, but no one had to teach him tone there.
Yeah.
It was just natural.
It comes naturally,
So this is one thing that I'd be saying when you're assessing your videos is don't just look at how you're saying what you're saying, but also look at why am I saying it like that? What is it revealing about my own internal conviction? What is it revealing about what I believe and what I don't believe, what I desire and what I don't? What is this showing me? And it's almost as if then now you're entering into salesperson mode, because as a salesperson, like that's what you get paid the big bucks for, is for being able to read into what people are really saying.
Yeah.
When they're saying one thing, but it communicates uncertainty, if you just let that slide in a sales conversation, then you've lost the sale. But if you can see it up front, then you'll know to handle it before trying to react.
Yeah.
So yeah, aside from the words you use, the speed, the pace, is there anything else about how you communicate in your videos that makes you feel like it could be done better?
I think I was thinking of doing this actually, but like most of my videos are just me standing still. So either I'm sitting in the car or I'm walking outside, but I'm holding the phone in my hand. There's no like sort of movement. I think it would be nice for me because I usually speak a lot with my hands. I move my hands a lot when I speak. But that's maybe why my videos are not completely natural because I'm not able to do that in the video because I'm holding the phone with my one hand, you know?
Mhm.
So maybe like trying to put it on a tripod and then just standing in front of it so I can just speak naturally how I would
That's big.
normally. That might
That's
be
big.
something I should try.
That's big. That's big.
Mm.
Like when I'm thinking about, like, I was watching some videos earlier on today, and the guy in his video, they were at an airport, just had like the phone on a wall or whatever it was, and you could just tell the amount of passion that they were giving to it. There's no
Yeah, it
way
would
you
come across a lot more. The conviction would come across a lot more if I was.
absolutely. Why? Because body language is 70% of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just like sharing your face, yes, you've got intimacy with the screen, but even if you're just sharing your face up close,
Mm.
there should still be body language going on that they can't see because
Yeah.
of what it communicates when you're sharing that energy of that transfer. So
Yeah.
you can do videos where you're walking and you are using your body language to communicate with more effectiveness. But I'd recommend that whilst you're doing that, like, this hand is your best friend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like, if you actually watch like most of my ad videos and stuff like that I got on my Instagram, where I was recording the content with my phone, my other hand was always involved in the picture and it was in the
Mm.
screen. And that actually communicates a lot of authority whilst you've got your hand like in the screen, and you're saying what you're saying. Because like
Mm.
there's this study that's been shown where when people have hands that are like below their sides, midsection and like high up, what it communicates in terms of authority. And it's like when your hands are in sort of this region,
Visible. Yeah. Yeah.
this is where you have like the most authority that you're expressing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if you've got one hand in the mix. But if you've got on the dashboard or on a tripod, and you can use both hands,
Mm.
then that's great. It's just harder when you've got a phone in the
Yeah.
end, but when
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's there, then you can really go for it.
Yeah, and I think initially I just felt it would be distracting if like I was doing that. So I tried not to use my hands at all and just like keep it still. But like now that I think about it, it's just part of me that's missing in that video.
Mhm. Hands is big, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you think about body language, you can communicate with hands. Is there anything else you can communicate with aside from your hands?
I don't make eye contact a lot in the videos. I've noticed that a lot about myself. Yeah, I look away a lot.
Okay. So
But maybe
how do
that's
you
generally when I speak to someone, I do that. I I've noticed myself doing that a lot, but I don't know why I do it.
mm,
I think it's when I think and then I feel like I need to look away. I don't know what it is. I really don't.
yes. So that's tends to be the case. So what happens is when a person's thinking, it's like they're going to their left brain, they're going to their right brain.
Mhm.
The eyes will move to the side. They're not just going to go straight up most of
Mm.
the time. So it shows that you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
But you can think and you can look at people.
Mm.
So
Maybe because I'm not looking at an actual person. I did say this before. I remember. I don't know if you remember. Like I I prefer speaking to someone when they're in front of me. But when I'm holding the camera in front of me, I'm looking at myself. So it's maybe that's why I'm not like wanting to have like eye contact. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'm not doing a good job with it. I think.
Yeah. And honestly, I remember. I
Mm,
remember back what it used to be like when I also would never look at the camera. Or if I was trying to look at the camera, I'd be looking at the wrong place. I wasn't actually looking at the camera. I was looking like at the bottom of the screen when I should have been looking at the camera. But it makes such a big difference. You know, one of my ads where it got really good results, and that's probably the one where I generated the most sales from. That was an ad where I didn't even talk in it, but my eye contact was crazy. And people would tell me like, yo, it was all because of the eyes.
mhm.
That's why we came through. Um, but yeah, like I'd say the thing that helped me the most when it came to really locking on eye contact in general with people, not just within my ads and stuff, but in general, was when I learned more about what eye contact communicates. So we know that, yes, you can show that you're thinking a little bit if your eyes move and dart away. So that's not a problem. But if you're locked in with someone and you're staring in their eyes and they're staring in yours, what does that communicate?
See them. I don't know. You're confident.
James is saying that eye contact is the biggest way to show authenticity. It exudes safety
Safety.
and
Trust.
trust.
Yeah.
Reliability. Yeah. Confidence. All these things.
Mm, yeah, I think I'm definitely lacking in that.
Yeah. So this is again going back to what I was saying before about not trying to look at all of the areas to change with your tonality with every single sentence and thinking about that, because that's the effect, it's not the cause.
Mm,
The cause of changing your tonality is the conviction. So, and the care, things like that. But in eye contact, the cause of having strong eye contact with a person is going to be how safe that you feel on camera,
mm,
how much that you trust what you're sharing and who you are, how confident that you feel in what you're doing.
yeah.
When you more so start to embody who you really are and take pride in what you're doing, like the way that you'll just be directly speaking at the camera, like it'll be a night and day difference. Because I see you do it on calls where you're jumping on
Mm-hmm.
me, and when you speak to your partner and things like this, like you will give direct eye contact when
Yeah,
you feel confident about a certain
what I'm
thing.
saying. Yeah, yeah.
But when you're wanting to hide a little bit more, you don't want to be
Mm,
seen. Because think about it, the eyes are the window to the soul.
so yeah.
So if you want to be most visible and seen, then you will give the best eye contact. But if you don't want to be seen, you're going to hide a little bit, almost make it look as though you're thinking really hard about something that you're not really thinking that hard about.
Like you're trying to run away, but there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to hide, trying to make it look like, um, you know, you're thinking hard about what you're actually saying, but really, it's more about being comfortable in that silence as well.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. When it gets silent, do you quickly run? Or are you locked in? Owning the fact that there's some silence here. Owning the fact that, and this is literally what I was just talking about before all of this, before you guys came on, about owning the parts of who you are that you don't necessarily like or you want to improve on. Fully owning that aspect. So owning that moment where, yeah, your mind hasn't come up with the right thing to say. Who cares?
It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay. Nothing's gonna go wrong. You're safe in this moment. By you feeling safe, other people watching will feel safe too.
Yeah.
James has said, if eye contact isn't maintained, you have the other party questioning you and may not give you the full attention that you need.
Yeah.
They're questioning, like, what is she hiding? What is she, like, why does she not feel safe to just speak directly to me? But here's the thing. Again, like I said, by cutting this out, puts you ahead of majority of people, and starting to master eye contact in such a way where it becomes like almost what you're known for.
Yeah.
Same thing with my ad. People were like, yo, this guy's eye contact was crazy. When it becomes what you're known for, then it's a night and day difference in terms of the level of trust that people start to have with you through your content. And you could be sharing the exact same message, but now people are saying that, wow, that landed differently.
Yeah.
They'll be saying things like, wow, she just seems a lot more genuine now, a lot more confident.
Yeah. Again, I think this is something for me that will come with the experience of doing the long form. Definitely. I think I can see how this would help
Yeah.
that eye contact issue that I have.
Yeah. Because if you don't have much time to practice, then you'll stay unconscious about a lot of these things. More that you're in the experience. So you compare a 1 minute video to a 1 hour video, right? The more that you're in that experience, the more times you'll make the mistake. The more times you'll notice yourself taking the eyes away and be like, let me bring it back to center and focus. And then it might happen again. Did it again. Let me bring it back to center and focus. And the more times that you start to become conscious of these unconscious patterns, then it will eventually start to form as a habit.
We are all forming good habits. I missed it. We're like still on the first scroll for that book, and it's like even my children are repeating the words now. It's so cute.
Are you guys you're not doing scroll 2 yet?
Not yet. I think we got a few more days left on this one, and then we move on. End of this week, yeah.
That's great.
So we're looking forward to the second one, to be honest, because everyone's fed up of the first one now. Even the children are like, oh no, not this again.
No, it's so good for them. Like,
yeah, I was just saying the same. I said, I'm so happy that it's sinking into your subconscious at this age.
Yeah.
They're one step ahead now.
This is it. This is it. And they're a lot more impressionable than you are. So James is saying that it's your chimp brain that's running the show when you are not maintaining eye contact. It's telling you it's not safe, and it's saying keep small.
Definitely.
We will be judged. It's a nonsense, and it's an emotional thing. So when so when you're doing your videos, if you know that it's your chimp brain that is going to prevent you from communicating the safety and this trust and confidence, one of the ways that you can prevent yourself from like showing up as the chimp, but showing up as the one that's mastered it, is by doing a little bit of a pre-ritual before you do a video. So one of the things that remember we did was the
Holding your hands, yeah. I do that sometimes, to be honest.
That's
But
great.
before I press record, I like do the whole hand thing. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I need to have like something to get rid of the jump before I start doing anything.
And again, it's like anything that will take you from the parasympathetic to the sympathetic. Like it's about being able to change that nervous system, how it's operating, and easy way to do that is by using your breath. So 3 deep breaths of like inhale 5 seconds, hold.
Oh yeah.
Seconds out. You do that 3 times, like that will just bring you to presence. And obviously, the more present you're being, the more authentic that you are as well in your expression. So if you combine the breaths with a little bit of this, like that should give you a really good starting point for operating from a good place. James is saying, so recognize when you're operating from a place of non-power, it's your chimp. Also, Yasmin needs to create her alter ego to combat a chimp. Yeah, I mean, I think we
we
did.
created my alter ego now, the numerology, didn't we?
Did you change all your names everywhere as well?
I changed the Instagram one, but I couldn't change the TikTok one because it said I changed it recently, so I have to wait like 9 days or something, and then I forgot about it.
Because when I saw it, it didn't. It looked like it was still the same.
On Instagram, no, I definitely added the Yasmin X Rashid. Didn't I? Is it showing on yours? No.
I can show
I
you.
added it onto the name that was there.
I'll show you what it looks like. So this is how I can see it.
Oh, isn't it? No, at the bottom there. I don't think I can change the top one.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Maybe not.
I'm not sure. You can't change the username.
You
Then
can't
you have to create a whole new account, isn't it?
Got you.
Yeah. Is it? I have to check that. I didn't realize. I'm not sure. Oh,
Well, yeah, I don't know if I've ever changed my username, to be fair. So maybe you can't. You might be able to, but I'm not sure.
I'll have to check that. But yeah, I'm trying to use it more now.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my alter ego.
That's definitely a big alter ego. Definitely powerful one. So yeah, showing up as and even like when you're saying stuff in your videos, like you can introduce yourself with that new name. Own the name now.
I don't think my mom's gonna like that.
There you go.
What are you talking about? So where the X came from? Why?
That's a conversation you're gonna have to have at some point.
Oh, I don't have to explain numerology to her. She probably just like tell me off.
You can just say that it's my my Instagram.
My Instagram name.
Yeah. That's my Instagram name. That's all. To be honest, I think that's what I said to my mum.
It's like an insult, isn't it? Like you say.
I didn't go into the whole numerology. I just said, yeah, it's what people call me on Instagram.
Instagram name. Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. I have to just show up a little bit differently so you stand out instead of just fading in the background.
Yeah, people do it all the time. People change the name all the time on Instagram, like to crazy things. So Yasmin X
X is
Rashid.
not even that bad.
Yeah, it's like Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, yeah.
He was a leader. So yeah. So we've got the communication aspects down. Do you feel like there's anything else, or
Mhm. Yeah, and I think I've mentioned all of it. The movement, I would like to have more like movement in my videos and not
fluid?
just be, fluidity, like just with my hands and be able to use them how I normally use them in my.
Yeah, it's fluidity comes from relaxation.
Mm.
That's the main thing. Like not being too relaxed to the point where it looks like you're about to fall asleep, but close to that, I'd say. Because some videos that do really well right now, like on YouTube and Instagram, are actually videos where people are in bed and lie down speaking to the camera. Why does that video do so well? I personally believe it's because those people are just so relaxed and being authentic that, you know, that's what
Comes
people
across, yeah.
are gravitating to a lot more these days than they are to the perfect curated
Yeah,
studio version. So
definitely.
um, relaxation, and fluidity. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Well, that's a fair bit. That's
Yeah,
a fair bit.
yeah, but the stuff I gotta work on, I guess. Eye contact, the fluidity, the tone.
And again, like I said, like don't think so much about the effects, but think more about the causes behind it.
Yeah.
Looking at where's the conviction lacking? When do I feel unsafe? What's this lack of trust? And then try to change that. So I guess one question to ask yourself is, when do you feel the most amount of uncertainty when you're talking on camera?
I think, yeah, like in the start, like if I have something in my head, like sometimes I know what I want to say in my mind, like I can say it in my mind, but when I go to switch on the camera and press record, like it just goes out of my mind, like all the words that I had, it just like, fades away, and I have like defined words, and then it just doesn't sound like how I wanted it to sound. What I had in my head doesn't come out from my mouth, so I don't know where the mismatches that's going on. When I just press record, it's just like something switches off in my brain and it's like freeze mode.
Yeah. And I'd say a big part of that is freeze happens when you feel fear.
Yeah.
Flow happens when you feel faith.
Mm.
And you'll feel faith when you, because one of the biggest things that feeds faith is preparation.
Mm.
So when you're preparing to speak on video, how do you mentally prepare right now?
I can see myself saying whatever it is I want to say.
Okay.
Or I think about it like in my head. I know this is what I would say about this. Like if there's a topic in my head and I think this is what I would say about this.
Yeah.
when I go to switch on the thing, then I just forget what I was thinking.
So here's the thing. So you see yourself saying what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Now here's the big question. Do you see yourself saying it on one extreme perfectly well, or do you see yourself saying it badly, perfectly not well?
I guess I see it perfectly and how I would want it to come out.
You guess?
The words I would want to say. But then it just doesn't come out the way I wanted it to say. And then it's not a complete mess up, but it's just that in my head I had like I used better words or I said it in a better way.
Mm. So I think this is one thing is it's like I kind of get what you're saying now, because the more that you rely on a script, the more that it can never really come out better than you planned.
But the script is in my head.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. So if you have almost like you're trying to memorize a script before saying what you're going to say, then it will never come out as good a lot of the time. Whereas when you're not trying to memorize the words before in preparation, but what you're actually doing is you're visualizing how it will feel to have done the perfect video. That will
Right.
then put you into the emotional state of
Mm. Without the words, just imagine the feeling you'd have by just okay, right? I get what you're saying.
exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
And I love how Jordan Belfort teaches this as well. Like, you know, when it comes to sales, is that he says before every sales conversation that you have, you want to have an anchor that can put you into the emotional state before you jump on the calls. And the anchor that he advises people to use is an anchor which is one for your smell, because he says that the strongest sense that we have is not our eyes, it's not our taste, it's not our hearing, it's our smell. So you could do the greatest visualization exercise by using your imagination, but it's not going to be as effective as your smell. So what he does is every time that he has like an incredible call, closed the person, felt amazing, he goes into his pocket, pulls out this thing that stinks, like really has this terrible smell to it, but it's so distinct. And he gives it a huge sniff, which is why if you've ever seen the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, when one of the guys was like in the room, I think it was Jonah Hill closing a deal.
Yeah.
After he closes it, rather than celebrating, he just gets into his pocket and goes like that. That's real. He's doing an anchor. He's not taking cocaine. It's like it's an anchor. So
So it's just it's like associating the smell with the success, basically.
yes.
Right. Oh wow! I didn't never thought about that.
Yeah.
Never heard of it, to be honest.
So if you have like any perfume, you know, like any,
it doesn't have to be a nasty smelling thing. It could be anything.
No,
distinctive.
yeah, nasty. So I don't know why he was choosing a nasty one. I think it was just for the pure strength of it. But the cool thing that will happen is that after doing it, after you've been successful many times over, and being in that state of celebration and like really anchoring that in, just by opening up and smelling it before you do a video without any visualization, you'll be in that state.
I don't want anything stinky like you. I'll find something that I like that's quite distinctive, I guess.
You're not meant to like it.
You can like
It's
it.
something
You
you
can,
recognize instantly, isn't it?
Yeah, something that's distinct, something that's like, you only really smell that as strongly as you do whenever you have that feeling of success
Success. Yeah.
and certainty more than anything, anchoring in certainty.
I don't know why there's two of me. I can
Me
hear
neither.
myself now. What did I do?
Duplicate yourself.
I don't know how to turn it off. Maybe it's telling me I need to go to bed now. Too late.
Potentially, or to go and find an anchor.
Yes, that's my homework for tomorrow. I'm gonna find something that distinctive smell that I'm gonna use.
Distinctive smell, and remember to anchor it in like every day, regardless of your outcomes, but more based off of the certainties that you're feeling when it could even be not even from the main video, but from like a practice video,
Yeah.
or just a win that you feel, but like start anchoring it in. And
Is
then,
it like for like
yeah,
practical things also like during the day if I feel like I've done something well, not just a video, or am I doing it just specifically for a video?
the main state that you're anchoring in is the state of certainty,
Right.
but you can anchor in lots of emotional states. So, like, another emotional state that you might anchor in might be the state of love and connection. So that could be a different smell that you use for
Right.
that state. Which
Like
is why I'm saying,
safety, something maybe that's
okay,
something that affects my eye contact, I think. Like if I'm talking to my husband now, I can look into his eyes like and speak like no problem. But if it's maybe a stranger or talking to the camera, I feel like my eyes wander a lot.
yeah,
So
it's
safety
good.
maybe.
It's good to practice that, like just staring into people's eyes
Yeah.
for long durations without saying anything.
Mm.
So I know that you're a good listener, but when you listen to people, do you like really stare into their eyes, or do you just kind of like,
Again, I think it depends who it is.
hmm,
But to be honest, no, if I'm listening to someone, I usually do look into their eyes. Like I can make eye contact, no problem. It's when I'm speaking, it depends who's in front of me.
Yeah.
Hmm?
yeah, that's definitely a fear of being seen.
Hmm. Especially if it's someone that I know is usually very judgy. Then I just don't make eye contact at all
Of
because I
course,
can't be bothered.
it's going to be difficult then. But when you're
Hmm.
speaking on your social media, like, you do not want to be imagining that you're speaking to
Someone that's judging
people
me.
who are going to be judging you, because then you're going to probably attract the people that are going to judge you all the time, right? But if
Hmm.
you are speaking directly to the one who won't judge, will accept, will love and appreciate you, then that could be a whole different experience for you, in how you feel when you're communicating. So if you think
Yeah,
about,
that could be a big reason why.
yeah, if you think about like who you'd feel the safest with when speaking to them,
Mm.
who would be that person that you
Is
genuinely
it
feel the safest with?
my husband?
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I might have expected you to have said your kids, but
Yeah,
do you feel
I
safer with
think
your
like
husband?
you don't have the same conversations like
Yeah,
with them as you would like. Yeah, that's
sure. So, what if that's who you were speaking to in the phone every time you were having a conversation? Like it was just for him.
mm. Or just keep your picture behind the phone. Okay.
Yeah, literally. Like,
Yeah, I could do that.
either a picture or get a little doll, get a small soldier of him.
Yes, one of those from that film.
The Commando Elite.
I think maybe because he makes me laugh a lot, so maybe it's probably why I'm so like, no
Lighthearted. Yeah.
defenses. You
Mm.
know, I don't expect him to judge me at all.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Like, when you're seeing someone who's really relaxed on camera, a big
Mm,
thing is that they can laugh openly and not feel anything.
hmm
How often do you find yourself laughing in your content?
Never.
Mm.
And I'm just laughing all the time.
Yeah. And can you see why that might be?
I think even though I'm enjoying it more now, making the videos and it's still not. It's still like a task that I have to do. You know, it's not yet coming completely naturally. When that happens, I think it would be a lot different. It would come out a lot different. I can because when
Mm.
I see my videos sometimes, like it's me, and I do say the things that I'm saying, and I have conviction in what I'm saying, but it's not all me. It's not like how I would say it if I was just saying it to my husband, for example.
Yeah. And
That's my
the best way to measure your authenticity is, who are you when nothing matters?
mm,
And chances are, like with your husband, like nothing matters.
mm,
Don't matter whatever you say to him because y'all are married. So
yeah.
you're not trying to get anything. You're not going to lose anything.
Yes, this is the thing.
It
You're
doesn't
not
matter.
like pretending anymore because we've passed that point already. Not like
Mhm.
pretending, like I wasn't pretending. I mean, like you're not like it's not like when you're dating somebody, you like have this sort of face that's a mask rather. Not completely, but it's there. You're not completely comfortable with that person. When you've been with someone for like years and you have children and it's just all those defenses just fade away. And then you just yourself. But in front of the camera, I still have maybe those defenses up just in case that someone that's judging me on the other side.
So
Again, I
this,
think that would be
this is
something that
this,
would go away with the experience and as I keep doing this on a daily basis.
it might, but it might not as well. So the question you want to
Mm.
ask yourself is, what are you defending?
I don't know.
Let me ask the question differently. What part of you are you defending?
Oh, what I'm afraid of, you mean?
when you think about like defending, right?
Mm.
It's like you're always defending something. So
Mhm.
you could be protective over your kids.
Yeah.
You have like a wall that they can't jump over to go to
Mm.
somewhere else. Like you defend them. So you're defending your kids outwardly, but internally, what are you defending?
Internally. No, I think it's like more rejection, isn't it? That's something that bothered me like all my life, I guess. From childhood. I don't know if you saw that video I made about when I was like a really young child and sort of being left out because I was a little bit darker than the rest of them. And I think that's stuck with me for like forever, even up till now, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, how did you being dark make you feel back then when you were younger?
Not good enough, and like not good enough to be in that friend circle or whatever. It'd be invited to people's houses or I don't know. It's just like when you're a kid, like you want to be in, in the group. It's not like I wasn't ever in a group, but it's like those people that singled me out made me feel a certain way that it stuck with me like for forever. Never really let go of it, I guess.
Yeah. So, can you see where there's like a part of you that you haven't really claimed full ownership over yet?
Mm,
A part of you which you don't feel fully proud of right now in your whole being?
yeah.
So, what's your perspective on that aspect now? I've just seen some of James's comments. He's saying it's comfortable. That's why. So the fear is here, is what he's saying. If you give yourself the space to truly let go and heal, then a new identity will form.
I don't know how to let go of it. I don't want to have the feeling of rejection or being judged by a group of people that think you're not good enough because you just don't look the same as they do. How do you let go of that?
James says, in one word, you must
Forgive.
forgive.
Hmm.
So I guess the question there is, who who must you forgive? James says, forgive those who wronged you, who
Yeah.
criticized you. Do you feel like you haven't forgiven those people?
I'd like to say I have because I don't think it, I have not had contact with any of my, like when I was a little kid, people from, we moved away and then, but it's something that just stuck with me for a long time.
So you feel like you have or you haven't?
I never
It's
really thought about it. Never, I never thought about it, to be honest. Like forgiving people that I don't really have any contact with now.
because it probably isn't necessarily them who is the biggest area of where you can really heal. I feel like there's something that's more significant. But when you're given that particular memory and you focus on healing that aspect, you might feel like, oh, I've done the necessarily healing, but it might just be the gateway to open up a door to the part of you that really doesn't feel safe to go back to that memory. Break down the letter writing exercise for healing. Do you mean the like inner child one that I did on Instagram? I think have you done that one before, Yasmin? Or
To letter to the younger me or something like that. Yeah, I did do that exercise actually, and it was about the same thing.
was it?
Yeah.
And did you come to the place of like it's time to forgive?
Remember
Or
what I wrote in there now, but I know it was about the same thing.
only to the younger her, directed at the person?
Maybe because it wasn't a single person; it was just like a group of people, isn't it? Like children, really. I'm talking like really young, like maybe 5, 6, 7 year old.
So when you think about what those people represented in one word, what would that essence be that they represented?
They represented the society that I lived in, the community that we lived in. And it's so, to be honest, like I'm ashamed to even say it because, like South Africa's, can I put it, was a very, where the communities were isolated from each other, right? So a white person would just be in a white community. A black person would be in a black community. An Indian person would be in an Indian community. That's how the population was kept under control by segregating them. So part of my childhood was in apartheid, where we were segregated from every other community. So I was just a child growing up in my bubble, basically. You don't know the world that exists outside because you're not in contact with that world outside. So my community wasn't the Indian community, but where we live, the Muslim majority were a lot fair skinned than, let's say, the Hindu or the Tamil communities. Even though we're all Indians, because they came from different. So, like, I don't know if you know about Indian mentality when it comes to the whole caste system.
Um,
Do
I
you
mean,
have any?
I'm Pakistani as well, so I
Yes,
know
you understand
people.
why they still carry this mentality even though they're not in India. It's like an Indian thing. It's everywhere. It's like a disease. And that's something I've had issues with all my life because I feel like there's racism within a race. And the superiority complex that they have, it made me dislike their community. It's probably why I've always wanted to break out of their community. So I never wanted to get married into the community I was born in, basically. That's why in that video I say like it's affected so many decisions I've made throughout my life. And when I think about it in hindsight, I can see now why I why I purposely broke the rules that day and became the rebel because I just couldn't see myself becoming one of those people in the community that bred children to think that way. I needed to break out of that system and have children that don't think that way. They don't see the difference between a black person and a white person and an Indian person. They just see people and human beings. That was very important to me. And even till today, my children notice it when they go to South Africa because that they are just like that. Not much has changed. That's probably one reason why I don't want my children to grow up in South Africa. Yeah, it was a long speech. My monologue.
It was raw. It
Yeah,
was real. And like imagine going back to what we were saying earlier on before in the conversation about speaking with conviction, tone, trust, everything. Imagine if like that Yasmin was what we heard on Instagram. I mean,
yeah. I don't think people would like it, to be honest,
but
especially South
the
Africans,
thing.
because
That's the
it's not
thing.
nice to look at yourself, in the mirror and then you see who you really are. I don't think they want to be confronted with that.
And the question you want to ask yourself is, do you want to be the person who's putting out content that is just,
The people pleaser.
yeah, trying to please others, or do you want to put out the content that's gonna shake people up, wake them up, and rustle some feathers in a good way? Because James and um, I can speak for myself, but I know that when you were just sharing what you were sharing, chances are, out of everything that you've shared today on this call, that was the thing that hit him the most in the chest as well, because it was so relatable. Like that kind of stuff would bring people to tears in a good way.
Because the sad reality that, and the thing is that it still exists there. Because the last visit we had to South Africa, my sister's children, her son, he's very dark in complexion. He reminds me of me when I was young, when I was very young. Because we used to play in the sun all day, my brother and I. So we were the darkest of the dark. But we didn't care. because we were just having fun. We were just kids. It was only when others started, having an issue with it, then we became more conscious of it. And my sister's son said something to me when we were there, and he's like, my friend said, "Why are you so black?" And it hit me like a brick. Well, I just felt like, oh my God, these people are still the same. Nothing's changed in this country, in this community, rather. Even though we've integrated now, there's no more apartheid. People are, white, black, Indian, everyone living next door to each other. But they still have this in them. I can't understand why. I didn't know what to tell my nephew. I felt like a kid again. I feel so sad for him. Some kids handle it better than others, I guess. My brother handled it better than I did because he had strength. He was really big, so people like sort of were afraid of him, so they never bullied him or anything. And I was never bullied because of my brother, because everyone was afraid of him. So, but thankfully for him, I never got bullied because I had the big brother that everyone was afraid of. But if I didn't, I think I would have a lot, a different story to tell.
But the irony of the whole thing is that that phrase that you just used at the end, that you'd have a different story to tell,
Mm.
is like pointing to the real truth, which is that you have a powerful story to share.
It's just something I don't really talk about, to be honest. I don't like talking about it. I just like to think that it doesn't exist anymore. Every time I go home, you just see glimpses of it again, and then I feel like I just want to leave now. I've had enough. The I think the biggest problem in the world today is people feeling like they're better than someone else. for whatever reason, whether it's religion or race or ethnicity, whatever. And that's something that I hate the most. I hate, like, I absolutely despise it when someone thinks that they're better than someone else for what, I don't even care what reason they use. I absolutely despise it. Maybe the environment I grew up in, I don't know, maybe. Or maybe just being this around it. Or it's everywhere. It's in every culture, it's in every ethnicity, it's in every religion. It's everywhere. How do you change the mentality of people? It's just impossible, isn't it? It's so ingrained in them that they don't even realize when they, showing the signs of it. Like it's just normal to treat this person this way because they are a different color or ethnicity or whatever. Maybe why I don't like people so much.
Yeah.
It's safer
See,
when you're by yourself in your little bubble, I guess.
yeah. But by you sharing what you've just shared there, it's like I can see myself in your story now. And
Hmm.
that's powerful what you've just done. And it's crazy because it's like it just made me realize, is this what people feel like when they hear my story? That's powerful. That's the raw that we've been talking about. That was it. And yeah, it just made me go back to moments, not just in my childhood, moments in my adulthood where I've experienced racism.
Hmm.
I've experienced people who were acting out and trying to be superior and feeling inferior. That's relatable to just me on so many levels. And I can only imagine how many other people would relate to that as well. Um, so you have a powerful story to share, very powerful story. And people need to hear that because it's like when you share it the way that you just did as well, that's really healing for people massively. And I think the thing that you were kind of alluding to towards the end as well is you don't want this to be the case forever. And when you were releasing the emotions, because I remember like when I had to go through my process of forgiving people in my life that I held so much anger towards and resentment in my heart, that was causing this fear. The first thing that had to come out that had been repressed was anger, because
Mm.
that's natural feeling that you are supposed to feel when someone is belittling you
Mm.
and disrespecting you and making you feel less than. That's how you're supposed to have a natural reaction of. But at some level, you'd have also learned. So it's like two aspects now. So there's the allowing others to walk all over you, number one, and treat you like less than. But then also learning that you didn't have a voice, that you weren't important, and that you got to keep quiet to appease other people. So, like I was saying, like when I was going through my forgiveness process as well, like one of the first emotions that was released was anger, irrational, uncontrollable anger. And then after that, it was just flood of tears that came rushing down. And that's the healing. That's the letting go. Like James, I know he was pretty chuffed with himself there. He's been able to impact you just through the comments. That's exactly what he said as well. To go through the process of healing through forgiveness and letting go of the fear. He did it.
Like it's not just forgiving a person, it's forgiving a whole community that still have the same issues. So I find it difficult to forgive a community that's still stuck in that, 19 footstep mentality.
Yeah, and the thing is it's difficult to do when you don't know, or you're not aware. So, like the highest level of forgiveness comes from compassion, and the more that you have compassion for those people by starting to see how them acting with this moral superiority or the complex, whatever you want to call it, isn't doing them any favors either. It's not good for them too. It might seem as though it's giving them, yeah, that'd be great, James. Finally. I was just saying that it might seem like on the surface it's doing good for them, but by them having like this superiority complex over you and other people, it's disconnecting them also from what could be. So they're losing out. They don't know it, but why? And when you start having more compassion around it, then and seeing that they're just as broken, but for a different reason, that's how the forgiveness becomes a little bit easier. James, go ahead if you
To have
are able
sympathy for them.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Hey, greetings, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, I hope you're okay. I'm sorry, my mic has been playing in and out, so I've just had to see if I can do something to jump in. But obviously, I'm listening in the background here as well. I'm obviously making my comments. I guess what I wanted to share was, sis, when you're talking about finding it hard to forgive a whole community, I guess sometimes it becomes difficult when you categorize everybody in the same sort of vein. And what tends to happen is because we're not able to point the blame or, target specific people that's causing us this sort of angst or the way we're feeling, we lump it all into this one big, it's the whole community. But that's
Yeah, yeah,
factually potentially not that's factually not correct. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
You're right.
Because right,
You're
so
right.
that means we're operating purely from an emotional standpoint.
Mm,
So it's always important that we do sometimes learn to take things from a rational, logical perspective, which will then allow us to navigate whatever we're experiencing. And just remember, and that's what I keep saying about the chimp is always the one that's going to react first, no matter what
yes.
experience you're going through. Your chimp is going to jump in and give you its perspective, which causes the
Mm,
anger, the frustration, the sadness, the depression, whatever it is, any emotional response. It's the chimp doing that. But if you're able to then take a step back, and even Mo was saying about the breathing technique, which is great, having the moment to just catch your breath first and foremost, center yourself, and then look at the situation with a logical, practical perspective, you will be able to find an answer that's more empowering. So when we're saying I find it difficult to forgive a whole community, again, that's not factually correct because it's certain people that's behaved in a certain way that's informed
yeah.
your perspective, but it's not
Yes.
fair on the other people, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
then you're able, right? So then you're okay, cool. I'm not being fair on those people who may not kind of feel that way or conform that way or carry themselves in that way. So let me just focus on the people who I'm very intentional are operating the way I don't like. So
Mm,
then once that's clear, then the next step is okay, how do I operate powerfully with this knowledge? How do I operate powerfully with this awareness? And then like Mo was saying, which is awesome, it's like everybody that is showing a particular side of themselves is broken, right? No matter who you are, you would have all gone through something traumatic. And those who have dealt with their traumas will obviously respond differently, and those who haven't dealt with their trauma will respond differently as well.
okay.
But it's incumbent on you, Yasmin, the one who's transforming, the one who's doing the growth and personal development, to shift your perspective on how you see people, to always look at it from an empowering perspective.
Mm,
Do you know what I'm saying? It's easy to lump everyone together. That just keeps that victim narrative going. But
yes.
if you're choosing empowerment, you're able to say, okay, there are people who my frustration is aimed at, number one, but
Yes.
also let me get even super intentional and powerful. My frustration shouldn't be at them anyway. It should be more of an understanding that they are operating from a place of trauma. That's why they're doing the
Mm,
things that they do, and they haven't healed yet. So now
yes.
that's understanding now, right? And when you have that understanding, that's when you elevate yourself. That's when you're able to push forward because it's not an emotional response, it's a logical, practical conclusion that you've come to terms with, and it's now
Mm,
empowering you to move forward. That's how you deal with that. Does that make sense?
yes. You're absolutely right, though. It's not just the whole community. Yeah, there are some very good people as well. It's just those rotten apples that make, everyone. And then it's easy to just lump them together, like you say, because it makes you feel like, oh, I'm still that little kid, the victim.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And even again, the terminology, it's those rotten apples. That's again speaking from a term that's not powering you. Do you know what I mean? It's
Mm,
literally to understand that those people, they are displaying behaviors that's based from their trauma. By labeling people, even that's why I don't even like labels anyway. But when you start attaching a label to someone, it's now you have the higher than thou sort of mentality. I'm better than you, like those rotten apples. Those people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You're you're not allowing the potential of connections with those people, because those people who are going through this stuff, they could just be needing a safe space to kind of deal with what's going through for them. But because we're
Mm,
lumping them in a particular way, that's now perpetuating that image that they may hold of themselves and what other people hold of themselves as well. So they buy into that image, right? But if we have an
yeah.
understanding, okay, these people are people who have gone through some difficulties, and that's why they're doing the things that they do. There's more of an
Mm.
understanding, and that's where potentially you can have more empathy, and that's how you potentially can go and support people because there's more empathy now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is like generational trauma as well. What you were
Mm,
talking about a few weeks ago, Mo. I think because like the history of the Indian community in South Africa,
mm,
it must have been very traumatic
mm,
for the people that like
right.
my great great grandfather that was, brought on a ship from India. and now to this new land where he probably, knew he'd never see his homeland or his family
Mm,
ever again.
mm.
And then you just got to deal with now all these other issues that are in this new land.
Of
It must,
course.
I mean, I can't even imagine how traumatic that was
And
for
imagine
them.
as well, your identity has been kind of taken away, and you're having to now to conform to a new reality, right? Having
Yeah,
lost your identity, and you have to
yeah,
now conform. You have to kind of operate from a place where you just operate in a place that you've just been kind of put there, right? Without
yeah.
no true assistance, without no true sort of
And now we're
um
controlled completely. Movement,
exactly,
everything controlled. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
So if they're operating from any sort of place that from your eyes it's not befitting, it's because that's their response to protect themselves, right? But now
Yeah.
it's their narrative now. So
Mm.
they've bought into that narrative, and that's why they continue to perpetuate that. But ultimately, we should move away from a place of judgment and step into a
Yes,
place of understanding,
yes,
and that's on you. So that's where it's never about other people; it's about how you're perceiving people,
yes.
scenarios, situations. It's always from you, Yasmin, and from the perspective of choosing power. That's the sign of growth and elevation.
Yeah, yeah. The fear is to just become someone that just does the same thing that you hate the most.
Yes, exactly. It's easy to hate, but it's harder to love and
Mm.
understand, right?
Yes.
Sorry if I just jump in and share that with you. But I'm in the
Thank
background
you, Jane. Always words of wisdom.
here.
Stuff. Yeah, and I love how there's no one that can call you out quicker for saying things that are disempowering than James can. Like,
Yeah. It's his gift.
My ears are tuned for disempowering language, man.
yeah, like I can see it, but I just can't catch it as quick as you can. Like, it's a gift. Um, but absolutely can see now, Yasmin, how you were generalizing there, distorting the truth,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, and and operating from a emotional
Yeah, because then
place.
it allows me to be angry.
Yes,
Yeah.
like it's repressed anger, so you're not conscious of it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's anger in the moment and you express it, that's fine. But the depressed state comes from emotion that's been repressed.
Mm.
So just you letting that out today, letting that go, that's transformational. Like, you won't be the same person after that.
Yeah. No, I've never seen it from what perspective what James said. Is like I need to change my perspective instead of expecting that whole community to start changing
Yes.
their mentality.
Yeah.
If I can't control what they do, I can control how I react.
Yeah. And it's not to accept the behavior as being okay. Like, it's more about getting into alignment with the truth. That's how you're able to reclaim your power back. Being able to discern between the facts and just the emotional outbursts.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it too, if where you're still at within that area of your life is like victimhood, victim consciousness, even if it's not conscious to you, you're not aware of it, you'll probably be emitting a frequency to your audience of Like,
Yeah.
I'm a victim.
Yeah.
And people don't feel safe in following other victims. They're
Yeah.
like, she's just like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where when you come from this
How's she
powerful
gonna
space,
help when she's
yeah. But when you're no longer disempowered by it, then people start gravitating towards you because you're exuding power. You're exuding a different energy. Still got the same story,
Yeah.
and still the same events that happened, but now it's a new, empowering story. And that will change the state massively, a lot more than sniffing perfume will.
This is- yeah. Oh, I didn't expect this when I came on this call.
You never know what to expect on these calls.
No, never did. I only expect it to last this long. That's the truth, right? I expect the time frame.
Yeah, but it's always worth the
Worth it. Maybe.
just the time sacrifice.
Yeah. I've always known it's something I would have to deal with, but I just never knew how. But I think I know now what to do.
Yeah. What do you know?
I need to change my perspective
Yeah.
and single out the few people that have caused that trauma. I can
And
think now when I think about it, I can picture the scenes in my head, and I know what's caused it and which scene that caused it, and it's that I need to deal with, not just everyone in one. Because I'm not a victim. I managed to break out of that system because I knew it was not the way I wanted to live my life, and I did that, and I'm proud of it. And I don't care what people think of me being married to someone of a different race or ethnicity or whatever. I don't really care. The people who know him like him. That's it, good enough for me. People that don't know him, I don't really care what they think. So I think in that sense, I have empowered myself by breaking out of that sort of victim mentality. But I always think that that's the reason why I was a rebel growing up was because of that. In a way, it made me from a small victim child to like an arrogant teenager. Where, to the point where people used to tell my mom, like, why is your daughter so stuck up? She doesn't speak to anyone. And I think that's the reason why. I was like fed up of that community. I just couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't bothered. I didn't care what they thought anymore. And I wanted to do the opposite of what everyone expected, just to make a point of that I am not that little victim child that you teased and, they said bad things to. So this is who I want to be. I want to be completely different from you. And I did that. And I made sure my children don't have the same mentality and they don't carry it forward to the next generation. So I've done my part, but I can't change what everyone else did.
You know what? It's like full circle. James has just said, love this call, miss these types of empowering calls, and remembering we make a good double act. We make a great double act.
Yeah, you do. You do do it. Yeah, absolutely. You do like maybe at least once a week. This would be a good thing.
To get
Yeah.
James on as well. Absolutely. I mean, I'm good by myself. James is great by himself, but together it's just unfair to anyone else that's on the other side of the call. They're gonna experience a big shift. But the first thing
It's
that
a
James,
shame for those that miss out.
I mean, yeah, they won't want to after seeing what happens with people like yourself and anyone else who we've impacted. But the thing that James said from the beginning about you was this word of liberation. I feel like what this call has, the biggest theme about it has been liberation. You've just been liberated from that identity, that victim place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now the mission for you is also about sharing that story so that others can also be liberated from their mental change that they've got on themselves.
Yes.
That's the real mission.
Yeah,
Not,
get
yeah,
it out there to as many people as possible. I'm
yeah.
sure within the British community it's similar. The British Asian community. I'm sure it's similar. It's a mentality thing.
But that's why I said that I resonated with it, because
Exactly, yeah.
I've not grown up in Africa, Jamaica, Pakistan, but in the UK, like, massively experienced a lot of superiority, racism, things like that. So it's worldwide for sure. The only places that I haven't necessarily experienced it so much is when I've been older, traveling, and as in a little bit more autonomous and independent. But everywhere has it really, and people are affected everywhere. So that story isn't limited to South Africa, but when you share your story, you're specific about the region where it happened and the kind of people who, you want to personally help the most, that are like the ones that are darker skin. I think that in itself, like talking a little bit about this, the shame that you were made to feel, the guilt, the anger, all of that that's the kind of thing that will raise an army when you think about it. And I actually remember back when there was this little bit of a glimpse of a dormant army that could be awakened at any moment, when during the time of COVID, there was the Black Lives Matter movement as well. My sister was one of the main people that was doing a speech at one of these rallies, and there was like thousands of people listening to her speak. Yeah, she's still got the video for it on Instagram. And it's like the way that people were moved by that message. It reminds us of the same way that people were moved by the messages of the likes of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, people walking in the streets, like that type of thing, Marcus Garvey, those guys. And it was, again, all about this message of liberation and setting ourselves free. So it's it's a pain that people quietly endure, but the more that you speak out against this injustice
Yeah.
and recognize that your voice matters, it holds weight, it's powerful, especially when it comes from that space that's not the disempowered space, but it's the empowered space, then that's going to raise an army.
Yeah. It is something I feel deeply about, injustice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
your real message. That's your, like, the make mums matter thing. It's cute. It's
Yeah.
it's like you know the type of people who have felt a certain kind of pain, and you can definitely relate to them, like, right now.
Mhm.
But when you speak to those mums and the oppressed versions of them, that's what will really make them start seeing you as the leader that you are. It'll go from, oh, I'm just friends with Yasmin and following her on Instagram, to I want to follow Yasmin.
I'm going out and get on my ship now and got a few people I want to take with me.
This is it. This is it. So the ship has to have the captain. This ship has to have sails.
Yeah.
So the more that you start putting out this message, that's going to get people to come off of their own ships and start jumping onto yours, jumping aboard on yours. The more that the ship will actually move, go to where you want it to be.
Yeah. You need rowers.
What's
I'm
that?
gonna hire you, babe. He wants to be the rower of the boat.
He's going to row the ship.
He's gonna row the ship.
I thought you were going
Oh
to put
yeah,
him on the plank.
you're gonna need a very big canoe.
And a sat nav.
Oh yeah, sat nav. You can't go anywhere without the sat nav. At least you won't get any fines in the sea, babe.
I probably will.
That's a good
Probably
question.
will. Something, James, all right?
I don't know. Get an answer.
How are
Okay,
you?
then.
Hope you're okay.
It
Hope you're okay, Idris.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. You're right, Mo.
Yeah, we're good, man. How about you? I was gonna ask, did you guys finish Westworld?
No, we're on the second season.
Oh,
Not as good as the first one.
that's practically finished. Like, if you've done season 1.
Yeah, season 1 was good. Season 2 is, but not
That's
so good.
Yeah, don't bother with
I
that.
just don't understand. I don't understand how they split.
Are they still being controlled? I don't really know what's going on.
It just shows that AI is gonna
Take over.
no, not take over, but they learn.
Think for themselves.
Oh yeah, so they're gonna become conscious, if not already are. But yeah, that's
That's scary.
gonna happen, and they won't just be in computers, but they'll be in human-looking robots very soon. Like,
Yeah,
very
I
soon.
can see that. 100%. That's coming. If not, it's here already.
I think
Terminator
it's more
2
going to be
Judgment
like
Day,
an
guys. Remember?
integration of human
He's
and
Terminator 2.
like what Starlink is doing. That's the next step by integrating AI and human. Because if you don't do that, then the machines will realize that they don't need humans. So if you don't integrate them into humans, then they won't have a need for us.
They'll just do their own thing.
Yeah.
Like Terminator.
Yeah, all those movies were not for nothing.
Terminator was
Yeah.
was the eye opener. 1984 as well.
It's scary for next generation.
Yeah. If there'll be one.
Mm.
AI.
Like, what would be like the point of life there if you're just gonna have everything done for you and just
Make your own card, like create your own perfect being. That's when Allah's gonna say, you know what?
not enough of us humans now. Just
Enough,
everyone
don't need me.
finished. Oh, my battery's gonna. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much. I really appreciated this call. James, Mo,
Yeah.
Hey, very welcome. Yeah, very welcome. Very welcome. I just hope you got some real value from it as well. And
yeah,
just remember,
definitely.
I just dropped you a message as well, sis. I don't know if you saw the message on your WhatsApp, but
Oh, I haven't checked
don't
it.
don't dim your light. That's what the message is basically saying. Don't dim your light. You know, you have there's a story to tell, and that can add some real value to someone's life or a group of people or people in general. So don't dim your
Yes,
light. You know, own that power.
yes. Thank you.
And more like so we need to speak like hopefully sometime this week if we can have a call. Then we'll see.
Give me a text, bro. Give me a text. You still got my WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll sort something out.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thanks all for
All right.
coming. And
Good night.
great.
We'll speak soon as well, man.
See you soon, man.
Assalamu
Peace.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.